This is the Change Your City podcast. I'm Michael O'Neill, and we're talking with leaders from around the world who are making a difference in the global cities of the world. Hello, everybody. I'm Michael O'Neill, and I'm thankful for you taking the time to join us for another episode of the Change Your City podcast. In this podcast, we're listening to and learning from leaders who are living on mission and making a difference in their cities. Think about Revelation 7 at the end of the Bible, the end of God's story, this great vision for the future that God has revealed to us. These verses say this: "After this I looked, and there before me was a great multitude that no one could count, from every nation, tribe, people, and language, standing before the throne and before the Lamb. They were wearing white robes and were holding palm branches in their hands. And they cried out in a loud voice, 'Salvation belongs to our God, who sits on the throne, and to the Lamb.'" And so the question is, how should this exciting vision of the future impact the way that we live and think in the present? How should this vision that we know is going to happen, it's going to be fulfilled, how should this vision influence the way that we live, work, and play? It's not an accident that we live where we live. It's not an accident that our cities and communities are becoming more diverse, more global, more multicultural. God continues to bring the world to us, and so we have a choice. We can isolate ourselves and stay in our own little bubble, or we can see people as God sees people, and we can connect with them. We can meet them where they are. We can love them. We can bless them and let God work through us to accomplish His vision for the future. And that's why I'm excited to have Wanderson Goncalves here joining the podcast today. Thank you, Wanderson. Wanderson is on staff at our church here at First Baptist Cumming as our multicultural ministry pastor. And so he's going to help us unpack this and see how we can be involved in what God is doing now so that this vision of God is fulfilled and we can be a part of that vision being fulfilled. So, Wanderson, kick it off by just telling us a little bit about yourself, your family, where you're from, and why you moved to Atlanta, and your current ministry role.
All right. Thank you so much, Michael, for inviting me to be part of this movement. We just did bring in the beginning two points that are very relevant for me, like the verse that you just bring into the Revelation. It's part of my my ministry because we understand that we're gonna be and from all nations together just worshiping God, but we're here living on the world. This gonna be a practice for us, just to be like a real when you just be together with Jesus Christ in eternity. And then we just mentioned about bubbles. We live in our bubbles. And my ministry is just to help both bubbles, the American bubble and the immigrant bubbles, just to to get out of that. Yeah, but first of all, like I said, my name is Wanderson Goncalves. I'm from Brazil, and I'm living here with my wife, Poliana, and my daughters, Sarah and Sofia. We just had a great time in Brazil. I live in a Christian home. My father was a pastor. I grew up in a Christian family. We had a great life until something happened with our life. In the 2012, we had some sad events in our life. I was kidnapped in January. You know this story. Yeah. And sometimes we can just come and talk about my testimony about how God just bring me to here.
Yeah, not everybody's been kidnapped, man. That's a powerful story. It really is.
That's right. Yeah, but short story, when the bandits just say on the end of my kidnap time that God gave me a luck day. The bandit said, "Today's your luck day," because he said to not kill you. So this is a power of the gods have been moved my life, changed my life since 2012. Yeah. And then the same year, I just had my father passing away through a cancer. And then 30 days after he passed away, my grandma, his mom, passed away too.
All this in 2012?
All this until...
In Brazil.
In Brazil, right? In Brazil. So after that, I was praying about it to see what is the calling for God for my life. And then I got a call to come to the United States to study, to be a minister. And so we arrived here in the last day of 2013, December 31st of 2013. It was very cold. For who lives in Brazil,
Yeah, right.
yeah, it was very, very cold. But yeah, we have been here for since that, 2014, and have living day by day, just trusting God.
Mm.
I got my bachelor degree in the religious study, and then I got my master degree in the pastoral ministry. And I'm not just stop that. I'm just doing my doctoral program in discipleship.
Yeah,
So
man,
this
you
is
keep
just again.
learning. Wow.
That's right.
That's good.
I'm trying.
No, that's
I'm
good. No,
trying.
yeah, it's been said for many years. Leaders are learners, and you're a great example of just continuing to learn and study, and God's really using you. And so you're here on staff with FBC Coming. So talk about as multicultural ministry pastor. What does that mean, and why is it important for Christ followers to bust out of those bubbles
That's right.
that you
That's
talked
right.
about and build relationships with people from different faiths and different cultures? Why is that important?
I think it's going to be a second part of my testimony. When I arrived here, I just came because I found a university that they offered a classes in Portuguese. It was awesome for me because my English was zero. My family and we never spoke English before.
That's amazing. You
Yeah.
came here, moved here, did not know English.
No English, zero
That's-
English. Yeah, and so and this was as part of the nice and awesome thing in our life. We just changed. We moved from another country to the United States. But day after day, I realized that my choice was not a good choice because I was always more involved in my bubble, the Brazilian bubble, in the Brazilian community, going to the church, Brazilian church. That was like, on the beginning, it was like awesome. I found a family, but then I realized that this was not enough because I looked around and I saw people speaking English. I do not understood anything, and I realized that it was necessary for me to cross this bubble, just like come out from this bubble, and learn how is this big world around me that I can't touch. I can be part. I can't be part of that, and I changed everything. I came to the university and told them I'm gonna take classes in English with no English. I found a church, American church, with no English, and so it was another challenge for me. And I was away from the Brazilian community for probably 5 years, just engaged with the American community, with the American church, and being part of the FBC, the church over here was part of my story. When I got my bachelor degree, I had to have an internship, and God bring me here to the FBC, and I'm still here. I was ordained here. Yeah, we were part of this story too. Yeah,
Yeah.
still part of that and leading us to be a great community and a multicultural community.
Yeah.
And then part of my calling is to help the immigrant part, the immigrant community, to come out and cross the bridge. We always talk about bridge.
Yeah.
Just come out for the bridge and walking across the bridge, and live and being part of the American culture.
Why was that important for you to really go outside of your comfort zone and take a risk to be involved in the American community, English speaking community, when you didn't really know much English? Why was it important for you to do that, and why are you so passionate about helping other people do that now?
It's about decision first, because I didn't know what I'm gonna find, like if I'm gonna be accepted or not, what's gonna happen with me and my family, because we had no support from the Brazilian community anymore. We were like alone in something new for us, and my passion is I was accepted. I was the American church, just like accepted our family as part of the family. In even if we have something different in our culture, our way to talk, our way to have some kind of relationship, we're a little more intense of that. And so this was challenges for us. And my passion is because I saw that, I want that too for my community. I want them to feel free to come to the American culture and be part of that. So I think this is something that passionated me on that.
Yeah, and it's, of course, it's not just about the Brazilian community or people of other cultures. crossing the bridge to get to the American community, but it's important for the American English-speaking community to also walk across the bridge and engage with and connect with those of other faiths and cultures as well. Talk about a few practical ways that you can build those bridges and that we can build those relationships.
Okay. I'm gonna talk about we are trying to do. I think we are the ways that are the points that we bring up to the American community, to the American church, to be open to receive more immigrants. First of all, for us, is the communication. If you be part of the communication of them, teach them English, for example, it's the first way to have a relationship with them, to connect with them. Once we do it, we're going to be open to have a relationship more deeply and just start something new. I know the English, the communication is the first challenge for the American church, because I like to say always that when the church opened the doors for immigrants, they have to look different, not just like a hey, how can I help you? I think the more important thing on that is, hey, do you want to be part of our family? Not just saying, how can I help you?
Mm. Yeah, so actually using that family analogy to communicate that
That's right.
we want to be,
That's right.
we want you to feel part of our family. We want to feel part of your family. We're all in this together.
That's right. And we do have our blessing, our ways to help them. But I can point three different ways, like a practical ways that you can help the community, the American community, to engage with the immigrant community. It's like a be intentional.
Be intentional.
Be intentional. We have to be intentional on that. Like not just, hey, I do have a friend or my neighbor who is from another country, but be intentional. Open your heart and open your mind to learn a different culture.
Mm-hmm.
Just start a relationship with them. Listen them. This is the second part. Listen and learn from the culture that is different from you.
Listen, is that what you said? Listen and learning?
Listening and learning. Yeah, listening and learning, I think, is the second. And the third one is that is more important, serve.
Yeah.
Once we have a little relationship, we were intentional on that, and then we learned about them, serve them in the same way.
Yeah.
So I think this is more important to beginning something.
Yeah, and I love the focus on relationships, and relationship really does start with a commitment to
That's right.
be in relationship.
That's
you have to
right.
decide. I have to decide. We have to decide. We're going to be intentional, and we're going to commit. We're going to build a relationship
That's
with
right. That's right.
maybe somebody that I didn't think I had anything in common with. But then you start listening to them, their stories, and you start learning about who they are and what they're passionate about and what their experiences are, and then you realize, wait a minute, we do have some things in common.
That's right.
You and I are at the recording of this podcast. Just in a few days, we've been invited by some Turkish Muslim friends to spend about 5 hours on a Sunday afternoon, just eating with them and connecting with them and building relationships with them. We know one of them. I don't even know if we know the others that are going to be there. We don't even know who's going to be there, really. But it's deciding together. We're going to do this.
That's right.
It's 5 hours on a Sunday afternoon. We don't know we don't know what we're going to talk about. We don't know what we're going to eat. We just don't know.
True.
But we're going to decide. We're going to do this. We're committed to doing this for the sake of building relationships with others who do not believe like we believe. And are not from where we're from. I mean, they're from Turkey. You're from Brazil. I'm from Tennessee, which is a foreign country as well. Yeah. So, but I love what Bob Roberts, pastor out of Texas, says. He says, the love I have for a person has absolutely nothing to do with whether they follow Jesus or not, but it has absolutely everything to do with whether I follow Jesus or not.
That's right.
And that's what it means to be a follower of Jesus.
That's amazing.
So how can the American church effectively equip and mobilize church members, the church members of the American church, to live on mission in our multicultural cities? What can we, as the American church, what can we do to equip and mobilize?
Uh, we do. I can talk a lot of that,
Yeah.
but let's say something specifically. I think for the first of all, I think the community that to see the church has a multicultural church, diversity church. It includes like having a on the staff people from different countries. Like FBC, we do have us. Like they have a Brazilian, we have a Joshua, has a part of the international community inside of the church. It shows the community, hey, yeah, they're welcome for the diversity, and then teach each member of the church how to welcome them, not just to look into them like a hey, yeah, we're international, but this is nice. I think we can go beyond that. We can go forward and ask it something different, like a let's push back a little bit, like a start a relationship internationally. Invite them to come to your house. The least one is not. I'm not tell them, hey, invite
Right.
every immigrant that
Right.
you see
Right.
to bring it to your house, but like a pray for one family and start a relationship with them.
Yeah.
Invite them to come to your house, learn about them. First of, I think this is first thing, and then we can have some seminaries. We can have some workshops from different countries to understand their culture too, how we live, how we can understand more about immigrant. For example, when people talk about Brazil, the American, most of them say, yeah, soccer and carnival. But Brazil is a little more than that. If you know each person individually, you can see maybe they do not like soccer,
Right.
or maybe they do not like carnival. Maybe the Rio de Janeiro is the most, I think, is the most uh, um, famous city from
Right.
Brazil. But Brazil is more than that.
Right.
My city, for example, is a country city. The way they live in the Rio de Janeiro is totally different than us.
You're a country boy.
I'm a country
Yeah,
boy,
yeah,
totally. I'm
yeah,
a country boy.
That's
That's
because of the beard, I think.
that's
Yeah.
right. That's
Yeah, if
right.
if you're not watching, Wanderson has a nice beard, and that's why we call him around here the bearded Brazilian.
You're the Brazilian.
Yeah.
That's right. So even in Brazil, we live differently. When you go and have a relationship individually, you're gonna understand that. Not because I'm Brazilian, I like the way that the rest of the world see us. It can be applied on the in any country too.
Yeah.
So no more individually, be more intentional on that relationship individually, and then yeah, the church can participate of the multicultural events, be engaged with something outside of the church, not just waiting for them to come to our church. Be outside too.
Yeah, you mentioned multicultural events. That's an intentional way to create an environment where people from different faiths and cultures
That's
really
right.
do
That's right.
have conversations around food and a table together. What's an example of a multicultural event that you've done, that you've helped to lead, that has really created some relationships with different cultures?
Yeah, I think we had it before, and we do it every year, like at the multicultural friendship gathering.
Yeah.
We just like have a time
Like the music
together,
night,
the music
yeah,
night,
multicultural music night.
We
Yeah,
bring people from different countries to play their own song, their particular song from each country, and this is the opportunity to them to come or just hang out, cook
Right.
out, just go and have some barbecues, like a Brazilian barbecue, or have some Indian food that is amazing too.
Yeah.
Just be that, just be part of every event that we can see.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's so important. I know of some people, members of our church, who have been to those events. They didn't necessarily sing or
No,
even bring any
no, no,
food.
no.
They were just there to participate, to watch, and but then after after people play and sing, there's an opportunity to gather together and fellowship afterwards.
right.
And so I think those uh, common passions that every culture seems to have, food and music.
That's right.
And if you can figure out a way to involve
That's
one
right.
or two, both of those
Both of
things.
together is amazing.
Yeah. No, that's so. Yeah, because we've done what, 3 of those already, maybe
Yeah,
music
that's right.
nights,
That's right.
and really have enjoyed being a
That's
part
good. That's good.
of those.
Yeah, in this way, it's a little more specifically for who has a talent. I can see in different churches, people that they are like Spanish teachers in their school. They are teachers. They teach Spanish, but they're not engaged with the Spanish community. or even they are ESOL teachers at school for immigrants, but they're outside. They're not engaged with with that community. I think that when you use your gift, your talent, this is the more powerful thing that you can use for the kingdom of glory, like
Yeah.
for the kingdom of God.
Yeah, no, that's great. Yeah, in addition to the like the friendship gatherings or multicultural music nights, you on a weekly basis you have ESL classes.
Yeah, we do. We do have a
Why is that important to have? What's the significance of doing that? And
first.
what's that meant for our church especially?
Yeah, when the church opened the opportunity to immigration or immigrants to learn English, it shows us, hey, that church care about us,
Mm.
and we have opportunity to learn because most of them they cannot pay for the school or they cannot go outside and do something because they are afraid. And but when the church offer that, they feel secure and they feel part of that or something special. And this opportunity for the church, hey, let's go and just like have a relationship, create something. It's being not being necessary to go outside. They're coming. We open the door to them through the communication, through the learning something. And we also offered a Portuguese and Spanish classes for who wants to learn another language.
Yeah, like for members of our church
That's right.
who want to
In the
learn another
community.
language,
That's right.
again, to help communicate with other cultures
That's right.
here, because we talk about this throughout. It seems like every episode of this podcast is that everybody is a missionary. Everybody's living on mission wherever they are, and so we have to think about
That's
who's
right.
around us and how do we connect with them, and what do we need to do to equip ourselves to in order to connect with them. So
That's right.
yeah, I think that's huge. Yeah, I also I love the way that, for example, on providing ESL classes, you also you're really good at recruiting volunteers, training volunteers, and allowing God to use those volunteers that you've recruited and trained. And so, and these are volunteers who are from our church.
Yeah.
And so that gets them engaged with people from different countries. How many different countries are here on a weekly basis, would you guess? I mean,
I
what are some of the countries?
Yeah, I can say like the least 15.
At least, yeah.
At least
Yeah.
15. We have from Latinos, we have a bunch of them. We have from Venezuela, from Colombia, from Brazil, from Ecuador, from Puerto Rico, from Guatemala.
Mm.
Yeah, we have a couple from Iran too,
Yeah.
from Turkish. We do have a
Yeah.
great international community here.
Yeah. It's such a blessing to to see how God's bringing so many different people here not by accident. It's
That's
on
right.
purpose.
That's
and,
right.
and thank you for leading the way and leading our church, helping our church get engaged with them. Last question, and we always throw this out here to every guest. For those of us who want to be used by God to change our cities, which that's what we do. We want to be used by God however He wants to use us. What's a word of encouragement that you would like to share with us?
I can say in one phrase: build bridges, not walls.
Build
Build
bridges, not walls. All right, I love that. Yeah. What does that mean?
Um, like I said before, when the church is they're open to serve, not serve with like a, hey, I can give you whatever you want to, but let them to be part of the family. Build bridges is if you have a friend, or if you have your neighbor, they are from another country. Be intentional to be friendly with them, learn about them. In our church, invite people from other countries to come. Be intentional in whatever you do. We understand it's a part of our life as a Christian. Have been intentional to share the gospel. Just change a little bit and say, hey, be intentional with with the internationals too. Open your heart for the new, for the diversity.
Yeah. And going back to what you said too about in order to build bridges, it's opening our hearts, opening our homes. I think that's huge, like you
That's
said,
huge.
with
That is huge. Yeah.
hospitality, and then just deciding I'm gonna build a relationship with somebody who doesn't maybe doesn't believe like I believe,
right.
or definitely is not from where I'm from, and I'm going to commit
That's right.
to loving
And
them.
this is the part to help the Americans come out from the bubbles.
Yeah,
Because it's not, I learned that it's not common for the Americans in general to say, hey, I'm opening my house for you.
yeah,
Just come.
yeah.
So this is
No, man, we love our garage doors and
that's,
and
that's,
and screened in porches and fenced in yards, man.
that's
We
right.
just like our homes, to be kind of our
See,
bubble,
our
right?
bubble.
So
That's right.
so
That's
it's
true.
really that's what one of the things that's really helped me in my relationships and getting to know people from other cultures is they've really encouraged me, challenged me
That's right.
to be more hospitable.
That's right. But if it's still hard for you, that's fine. You start inviting them to go to somewhere. Go
Yes,
to the
right.
coffee shop
That's right.
or go to the restaurant first of all.
That's right.
And then if you have a more confidentially with them or you're more close of them, okay, yeah, I think it's time to bring it to my home.
That's right. Yeah. No, that's great. Yeah, that's great. So thank you for sharing with us. Thank you for leading out in our church, and I'm really excited about how God is working now, but just in faith, just looking forward to how God's going to continue to work among people from all different cultures and backgrounds. And I think about Galatians 5 when it talks about how Jesus has freed us from sin, but we don't use freedom as an opportunity to live for ourselves or to live for the flesh or desires of the flesh. No, we use that freedom as an opportunity to serve one another in love. And so we've been freed,
That's right.
but not for ourselves. We've been freed to serve others. And others means our neighbors. Our neighbors are those around us, no matter who they are, where they're from, what they believe. And so we're free to do that, and God enables us, empowers us to do that.
Amen.
Yeah. Amen.
Amen.
All right.
Amen.
So build bridges, not walls.
That's right.
All right, let's
Build
break out of the
bridges.
bubble, build bridges,
Build
not
bridges,
walls.
not
All right.
walls.
Thank you, Wanderson, for being our special guest. That's another episode of the Change Your City podcast. Look forward to next time.